left,
Oh my God.
including today. I know, it's crazy. I'm Devin, Director of Program Communications. Joining me again today, after a brief break to administer film school, we have Ellen Liam.
Hi.
How,
My computer is really overheating right now, so it might be a little lag, but anyway.
that's okay, that's, I'm sure we're all experiencing that, we're all these damn computers all the time. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, let's talk about the films that we have coming up today. We've got two programs. We got a collection of shorts and a feature short combo. In the shorts, we have Dark Choices, Louise, Swallowed, and Wheels of Life. And in our features, we have At Dawn from Iran and Dear Georgina. And across those two programs, we have a couple of the filmmakers to chat with today. So let's dive into it. What do you say, Ellen? Should we dive into it?
Sounds excellent. Sounds great. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. So first up, we're going to talk to Oksana, the director of Dark Choices. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
Very good. Thanks for having me here, and I'm happy to answer some questions.
Well, we're super excited to have you. The film, it's a short. It really is. It's a short film. I think one of the shorter films we have, but it packs a lot of. I mean, there's a sort of this big dramatic question in the center of it all, and I'm just curious what inspired this story.
Story is common life here in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very big pressure, and yes, and I just wanted to. Make a story without words so that so many people could see it. It's not in German, it's not in English, so it's reachable for everyone, and here we go.
Yeah, it really does. The whole thing is sort of set the story is of this man contemplating making a dark choice with regards to his family and his relationship with his family. But it really is all built around, you slowly realize, built around this soundscape. Can you talk a little bit about creating the sound design for the film?
I don't know. I just saw it from the beginning. We had this idea to make this movie. First, we decided to make some dialogues, but then it was always in my head to make like this with the sound design and sound mixing. And I said, it's a perfect idea for this. So let's stick with this. And it was already in my head, all what I need just to realize it and make it real. And that's it. So it's, I don't know. It is.
So you had, so the sort of narrative through the sound, did you have that kind of did you have it all very specifically in mind before you went to make it?
I already from the beginning I knew what I want, so it was very easy for me. And yes, it's actually first we were discussing about the idea, and at the point that we decided no dialects, and then it was very easy for me.
What was the process of shooting it like? Was it
oh my God.
I sense a story here.
You dug up a little traumatic moment, maybe.
Yes, it was not so easy, and yes, we still we had very low budget, and I think somewhere it would be a very good budget, but here in Switzerland we had to fight for everyone and for every member of a team, and we were so small team. It was too much. So we had nearly 12 hours shooting, and
So the whole film was shot over 12 hours. Yeah.
And
yeah, I had a very similar experience that once actually. Some people, sorry, go ahead.
It was very, very good experience for me, but it was, I think, until now, the biggest stress that I ever had.
Yeah, a lot of filmmakers we talk to talk about the limitations themselves, because all of the films. We're an independent film festival, so all of our films are independently made. So usually smaller budgets, smaller crews,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
people talk about how, as challenging as that is, it also kind of like forces you to be creative. Was it in your
yeah,
experience? Did you find that to be the case?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's true. It was it was only about creating and finding some solution
Mhm.
because yeah, sorry.
Oh no, this is great. Just sort
What
of. Oh, go ahead.
on that day, what was one thing that went wrong?
Actually, we wanted to make it like it is night, not a day, and it was from the morning till the evening. So actually, we had to fight with the light. And yes, the only cheapest solution just close the curtains. Yeah, and that's it.
Well, it's a really really like clever film. I won't spoil it because a lot of people maybe haven't seen it, but that final like moment at the end is uh, kind of hilarious. I don't know. I don't know. I found it like a dark kind of comedy, but really funny.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything you hope people take away from the film after seeing it?
Mm, I don't know actually.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah, sometimes it's yeah, I guess it's just like you have a story and you want to tell it, and however people interpret it or feel
yeah,
about it.
I think so many open endings, so you can choose for yourself. And because if I will explain, so it maybe it will take this hilarious ending away from you. So I don't want to do this because it is really very open end, and it's up to you to decide. And yes, that's it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for chatting with us today. Like I said, it's a really it's the first film in our short program. I think it'll get people thinking and all this stuff. And so thanks for chatting and thanks for sharing your film with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for choosing my film to show it. And yes, I'm very happy to give some comments and some small and short questions.
Mhm.
And yes, thank you very much.
Oh,
And how? Oh, sorry, it's evening for me.
okay. Yes. Should have said Oksana's calling from Switzerland, so we're doing a bit of international conversations there. But thank you so much for chatting.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, so next up, we're going to switch over. We're going to jump over to our other program, which is our feature short combo, and we're going to chat with Adam, one of the co-directors of Dear Georgina, which is a short documentary. Adam, how's it going?
All right. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for talking today. So I rewatched the film actually just a couple hours ago just to refresh my memory before we talk. And man, it's a really beautiful film. There's so many like legitimately like heart-wrenching moments in it. And I guess just like first question was, how did you meet Georgina, the central kind of character in your documentary?
Yeah, sure. So, by the way, greetings from the territory of the Massachusetts people here to your southwest, and the place often referred to as Boston, Massachusetts. We met Georgina through the process of making a film called Dawnland, which was a feature film that was out various festivals in 2018. And that film focused on a Truth and Reconciliation Commission in Maine, focusing on the taking of Wabanaki children through the child welfare system. It was a first government-sanctioned Truth and Reconciliation Commission in U.S. history. Happened from 2012 to 2015. Partly at the same time as the TRC was happening in Canada, but certainly much more under the radar here, as it was just a state effort and not nearly as well publicized. But we were filming the whole way, and Georgina was one of the first people to come when the Truth Commission had a community visit to invite people to share their stories. And she came in and pretty much immediately almost took over the meeting that was happening to share her story about what happened to her as a child, being taken away at the age of 2 from her tribe and her family, and just really almost ignited the room with her passion, but also sharing the trauma that she suffered. And we knew we wanted to make a film about her, but she didn't quite fit into Dawnland in the way that we imagined. She does appear in Dawnland, but not in the significant way that she does in this short film. So it just seemed like a really important story and a way to put a personal angle on the experience of being taken through the child welfare system.
Yeah, that's certainly, if I'm sure many of our viewers do know this, but uh, definitely not just an American problem as well. Canadian one, obviously, with the residential school system, and also to this day is still a very common practice. As recently as the past couple of years, there's been calls for inquiries and things like that. What do you find in your experience? Is this something that surprises people that it's still this huge problem?
Yes, I think here in the U.S., amongst Native people, not as much. I think because there's more awareness now that this is a problem. As you said, not just in the U.S. but in colonial countries across the globe. One of the main exports has been this idea of separating children from families. But certainly amongst non-Indigenous or non-Native folks, people are often shocked that not only that it has happened, but that it's still happening, and that the rates of removal are still so disproportionate for First Nations, Indigenous people compared to white children, even today, even after all the publicity around the TRC in Canada, but also the commission in Maine. It's still an issue that's mostly below the radar, at least in this country where we are.
Yeah, no, it's really it's a really critical conversation that needs to happen. And I think your film does it really beautifully. While also, I mean, it should also be said that Georgina is just like a delight to spend time with. Like as you're watching the film, what was it like? Did it feel like a collaborative process, sort of working with her as she kind of uncovers her own history? And I don't know if that's quite even what I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, very, very much so. Yeah, because you can kind of get a sense of it in the film that we would, even when the camera wasn't on, she just goes, she just talks and shares, and she's just always telling stories, to the point where initially oh no, we're not ready yet, we're not rolling, and it's okay. I know you're gonna tell that story 3 more times, so we'll get it on film. And yeah, even just to making the trip to her childhood home, which was something that she kind of mentioned, and so it did feel collaborative. It wasn't all her and it wasn't all us. We said, hey, what about going there? You mentioned you wanted to do that, and so we there was a little bit of instigation, but there was also her wanting to go and explore that community that she hadn't been to in so long, to kind of try to uncover some of her past, which we didn't know what she would uncover, but folks will see in the film.
Oh man, yeah. I don't want to spoil anything, but what a moment! Yeah, yeah, like a truly beautiful moment. I was watching it again today, and I was like choking up. It's really something very special. How is she? Just I don't know. Have you been in touch with her? How is she doing through all the craziness?
Yeah. So, Georgina passed away about a week ago, at the age of 80. Yeah, and she had a long illness she had a long battle with kidney disease, and we were really heartened that about a little less than a year ago she was able to come to the Camden International Film Festival in Maine, just a couple hours away from where she was living, and she came to the world premiere at the festival, and she was sat in the front row with her son, and she came on stage afterwards, back in those days when we all still went to movie theaters. And she basically held court in front of the whole audience, and to see this woman who for so much of her life felt like she was nothing and that she wasn't worth anything be treated like royalty, and like her life mattered. I know that her son said that was just such a special experience for her, and so we're really glad that she got to have that experience before she crossed over. So obviously the film is dedicated to her and her family, and yeah, we're glad that you all are sharing it with the nickel community.
Yes, well, obviously, I mean, we were already so grateful to be sharing that story, but I mean, knowing that, that's wow. I mean, obviously, just an incredibly special person. I guess same kind of question that I had to Oksana. Just what do you hope people take away after seeing this film?
Yeah, good question. Um, it's a combination of things. I mean, on the personal level, we hope that that young people and all people be inspired to talk to their elders and hear their stories and document them if appropriate, because there's so many stories that our elders have that sometimes are lost because we don't we don't write them down, or we don't record them in whatever way makes sense. And um and to know that that Indigenous child removal sadly is something that continues, and it's something that we need to pay attention to and work to think about how we want society to treat children, and how they are sacred, and understanding that that it takes action and work to transform systems that are hurting families. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with us today, and for sharing also that piece of news. Yeah, please, if you're watching this, go check out this film. It's about a very incredible woman, and it's an incredible film. So thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you. And one more quick note.
Oh, please.
Folks want to see Dawnland, the film that kind of birthed Dear Georgina. August 12th, we're doing an online global screening. People can find that information at dawnland.org or upstanderproject.org. We'd love to have you for that as well.
Amazing. We will share that as we get closer to the date. Yeah,
just to the stream.
Yeah, shoot me an email just to remind me.
There's a statistic that I just dug up about Canadian foster care. 52% of children in foster care are Indigenous, but account for only 7% of the child population in the country. So
yeah,
so it's really disproportionate.
It is a crisis. I would say it's yeah. So absolutely. We're really so happy to be sharing this film.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we've got just one more filmmaker, I think, to speak with, and that is returning filmmaker Andrea Cass with her film Wheels of Life. Andrea, hello.
Oh.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to see you. This is Andrea's second year in a row on the Nickel. Her film, oh no, Brain. River of Fire. Thank you. Sorry, brain. So much information. Hard for me to hold on. River of Fire played at our festival last year, and we're so excited to have you back with this new film. I guess just to kick it off, maybe talk a little bit about what the film is about and what drew you to the story.
So, Wheels of Life is about 3 teams of people riding on a double bike. One is a recreational therapist, and another person is a senior citizen in a long-term care facility. So I had 2 senior citizens who are male and one who was female. They're both they lived in Pleasant View Towers, which is in St. John's. And the first time I saw the bike, I was going across the street and the bike just zoomed right in front of me, and I knew right away that I wanted to make a film about this bicycle and the people who were riding on it. So it went from there. Basically, we have the first team is Alan and Laura is the recreational specialist. Alan is very playful and he sings, so I wanted to, he sings all kinds of different songs, and actually I couldn't decide which song that to put on the film, so I chose...
He's a real character.
Yeah. And Chandra is the middle person, senior, and he is a philosopher, and he's a beautiful spirit. He loves his family. He's just he's poetic. we put on the sound, and all of a sudden he started to say all these poems, and it was really super special, I have to say. And we got to meet his wife on the film, and the last the last team were they were buddies. They were like it was Beth and Tim, and they were Tim. Tim is the recreational specialist. Beth is the senior. She's very bright. She's very witty, and she thinks of Tim as the buddy, and
Yeah.
she loves to go out on the bike. So it's a film about freedom, and I wanted to shoot it on a day that was bright and beautiful, because a lot of days we don't get here in Milan. It was a bit of a challenge actually to shoot the film, because I was supposed to shoot it in July, and it ended up the beginning of September. By the time we finished shooting, it was a 2-day shoot, and I wanted to get a day that was really beautiful, and then we were going to do inside interviews. So that's how it all worked out.
Yeah, the film does have a real bright energy to it. It's you know, it's just very fun to watch. Like just the footage alone of the two people on the bike just has this energy to it. What was it like shooting that footage of them riding around the bike? Was that challenging? Was it? Yeah.
Right. Like we had Martine Blue was my DP, and we had a second camera this time around, which was really great, David Downton. And I actually went and did some research, like how were we going to get a conversation? How could the viewer look at this film and feel like they're on the bike with the resident and the specialist? So I looked into it, and like everyone was like, you gotta mount a camera. Like, how are we gonna mount a camera? We're going down like a dirt, path. So it's like, okay. So we looked up GoPros, and I've used GoPros in the past, and they were, it was a lot of work, and didn't really pan out, So this it was a GoPro 7. It was like a brand new version, and the stability was really great. So we used that, and it worked really well. So so yeah, we shot on a dirt path, and we shot on pavement, and sound was huge too. Like the sound of the bike, and the sound of the tires on the dirt and that kind of thing. Like it was, I wanted it to be like a remembrance type, like an auditory memory of like when you were on the bike. And it's really interesting because when I first pitched the bike, it was all about the bike. I was going to be, okay, this bike is a duet bike, and it's, it was from Norway, and it was like, it cost $12,000. I didn't put any of that in the film, because at the end of the day, I felt like it really wasn't about the bike. It was about the residents and their story, and how they felt, that connection with the recreational specialist, and how they felt free. And they like, when we weren't shooting, it was really lovely to see the recreational specialist and the resident just like take like the resident, the specialist would put the blanket over him, and it was, you could see the love, and it was really great experience. Like, well, I only had a small team, and even like, my team was really like, even when we weren't shooting, they were like talking to the residents all the time. It was really, really a beautiful thing. And even my DP, Martine, said like it was a really emotional experience. And I thought it was like, I think it shows on the film, but yeah. So
Well, watching it again, I couldn't help but think about, obviously, yeah, we are in a pandemic right now that disproportionately affects, elderly people, people in care homes. I think that's something that's really present on people's minds, is like how we're treating and taking care of people who are towards the end of their life. You know, what do you think, like things like this bike that's sort of the main feature of your film, but what do you think it means to these people in these you know, retirement homes?
I think it's really important to look at it not just a medical side, but as, you know, holistic side. So recreation therapies, I wanted that, you know, that discipline to be focused as well, because like, you know, you can have people sitting around all day long, but like you need to interact and you need to have things to do. And I just love that bike program, because it gets people out, but it also, you could see the relationship between the team and stuff. So it's like, it's really important to have, you know, things like, you know, the bike program, and just to, you know, like it's, you know, if people can see this film and say, oh, wow, this is such a great idea, where do we get the bike? You know, like, and then at least, you know, more people could have access to it. Like that would be a goal of this film, if nothing else, just to get that out there and say like, oh, that is a thing, a duet bike, a double bike that you can, you know, get people on the go. And, you know, it's all about quality of life at that point, right? You know.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I think that's a perfect summary of your film, and you know what's happening in it. It's another, you know, these are I think today's program was such a great variety of things, lots to learn, lots to feel, great films. Thank you so much, Andrea, for speaking with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having Wheels of Life in your film festival.
Our pleasure. And I think that's going to be it for today for our chat, for our fireside chats here in my cozy winter chalet. Really quickly, I will run through our programming for tomorrow, which I don't have prepared. I don't have in front of me, which does make it more challenging. And I do have to fill time, but here we go. We have 2 programs. One is 3 films, The Castle, another Iranian film, Crocuses from Wanda Nolan, included in our Nickel throwback series, and The Mill, a documentary from, I believe, Nova Scotia. Yep. And we also, with that, have Ne Passaran, which is a documentary from Scotland, outlining the sort of Scottish workers' movement's alignment with taking down Pinochet. So it's very interesting. I really recommend people check that out. And along that, we're also playing Asha, which is a short animation. So watch those tomorrow. Watch these today. It's raining here in St. John's today, or maybe it's not anymore. I haven't looked outside in a bit, but it was. Ellen, can you confirm?
It's mozzie. It's like damp. It's not pleasant out there.
Who wants to go outside? Stay inside, watch some films, learn something, have a good time. Anything else, Ellen?
To Georgina.
Yes.
Really,
yes.
Thank you, Georgina.
Yes. Watch all the films today, but dear Georgina, very beautiful. Please,
yeah.
You know, check it out. Yes. Okay. Thanks everyone so much for your time.
Thanks to the filmmakers. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.